The whole thing with dynamic realism is tricking the mind of the viewer as to what they're seeing. So you produce the feelings within the person looking at the painting through the noise they can hear, through the emotion or the power of what they can see, and how the whole thing works. So if you have a slight area out of whack, it causes the illusion to be questioned by the viewer. There's a little bit of annoyance in the back of someone's head where it just doesn't quite flow. It's hard to tell at this stage if you're not used to it. What you can do is try and help yourself as much. As you start applying the colour and an area becomes more and more credible and more realistic as to what it should be, then you start finding. At this stage, the best thing you can do for yourself is give you a good map. That's all.
That's the map.
This is the map. This is the map that gives you the clues to the next stage of questioning. The next stage of questioning comes with colour application, tonal application, and always remembering the depth of field, always remembering the three-dimensional form that you're trying to create. Which is why the next step is contour mapping, which is essentially when you have a smaller image of the majority of the composition, because it's not taken from one composition. The main movement is, the background's different, some of the reflection work will be different at the end of it, but when you take a smaller scale of the main motion characters in the composition, I will start looking at the thickness of paint logically to the three-dimension, to the illusion that we want to give off. So from that perspective, I'll start mapping, this area has to be the thickest level of paint, this area has to be graded thinner, and so forth, as we walk backwards through them. It looks wrong. There's a difference between what you think you see and what you actually see. And the discipline of shutting that instinctive mind off and listening and seeing what really is there is the constant practice. You are setting guidance for your mind not to be confused, not to fill in the blanks. Every artwork you have that with. Every artwork.
More than one time?
Yeah, sure. But every time you have to understand when you overrule yourself. And you don't... The human mind is dreadfully lazy. The human sight is rubbish compared to what's really there. You have to hone your concentration and your skill of concentrating specifically on what you're really seeing over time.